Hey guys, Eric from Grimy Mid Sports Cards here, coming at you with another video. This is actually going to be part 3 of the 3-part series of all of my recent pickups. First off, I'd like to thank everybody that has viewed the first 2 videos and has commented and or liked, and I've got even a couple of new subscribers. I really appreciate it. I hope I'm showing off nice cards. I like to pick up what I like to pick up, so I've enjoyed everything that I've picked up so far. And I hope maybe it is some good content for people that maybe don't know about some of the cards that I've been picking up as well. So I'd like to preface this video a little bit before I get into the cards, and I don't want to make this too long, but there's a number of cards to show off here, but there also is a little bit of background I need to give on it. So at the beginning of the year, and I try to, as a lot of people do, I know a lot of people do, I try to consider my collecting options and what I've been collecting and what I'd like to collect and maybe what direction I'd like to go in. Well, at the beginning of this year, I made a decision to go in a direction that I've been wanting to go in for several years now. This direction happens to be tobacco cards. I know there are a number of collectors out there. I don't have anything high-end. I have several tobacco cards in my collection that I've picked up over the years just because I thought they were cool, and most of them are in my safety deposit boxes and like that. But this year, at the beginning of the year, I really made a concerted effort to do a lot of research, figure out what cards maybe were a little bit rarer, portrait rarer, or a action shot is rarer, or just, names of guys that I know, maybe low-end Hall of Famers, or guys that just have cool names, or just well-centered, really nice pictured cards. So this video is going to be almost nothing but T206 cards. These are all going to be Piedmont and Sweet Caporal backs. Nothing too rare, but just stuff that I picked up in the last 2 months plus, and I've been going at it pretty hard because these are very reasonable. When you consider the grades, when you consider how old they are, instead of investing $3,000 or $4,000 into a PSA 2 or 3 Roberto Clemente rookie, you can take that same amount of money and invest it into everything I'm going to show you this afternoon. So, without further ado, we're going to get at it here. There are a couple of cards right off the bat here that are not T206 cards, but they are part of the recent pickups as well, and I want you to see these too because it's good stuff. So, get the camera adjusted here. Going to start off, the first one we have to come out here is going to be a 1971 Bullet Bob Hayes. And I know you've probably seen on a couple of my other videos that I've had other Bullet Bob Hayes stuff. This card just went off a week or so ago. It's really well centered. It's really bright blue. I'd rather have it be in a PSA case, quite honestly, but this card I could not pass up for what it went for. Just a really, really well-centered, very nice early 70s football card. So that's the one to start off with there. Next, I'm going to show off something else that's a little bit different. This is 1911 WD and HO Wills, Green Star, and Circle. This is a boxing card from 1911. This is Matt Wells. You can see he's British. The back of this card, and this card is mashed. I mean, it's got dings in it. There's really no creases. The corners are definitely rounded off. It looks fairly well centered. I'm not sure. I'd never seen these cards before. I actually picked this card up about 6 months ago off of an online auction. And it was super cheap. I just thought it was really cool. The back of this card is smoking. Look at this. Scissors, cigarettes, Special Army quality, WD and HO, Bristol and London. And then down there it's got the stats on him, born in 1887. Love the fact that it says that his weight is 9 stones and 7 pounds. just a really, really cool card. It's not super rare. I mean, there's not a whole lot of them graded or anything, but it's just, I just thought it was super cool. And, you know, just another one from the early 1900s. This card is 111 years old. It's just a cool card. We'll keep moving on here. All right, we're going to get into the T206 stuff. I'm going to do the raw stuff first here. I picked up several raw ones. I'm going to be sending these off to SGC. I believe SGC does a better job of grading these cards than PSA does. I think they take into account the fact that they're 100 plus years old. And they give them, I don't want to say they give them a little bit more love, but I think they actually do give them a little bit more love. This right here is Jimmy Jackson, the portrait. It's blue, the blue portrait. I know there's an action shot of him as well. You can see there's a crease in it. But this card was very reasonable. It measures. It's going to get a grade. I don't know what grade it's going to get. I have not graded very many of these cards. As a matter of fact, I've never graded a T206 card. I've only ever bought them graded. So, you know, what does it get? I have no idea. Probably like a 2, maybe a 2.5, something like that. It's not going to get a high grade, but it's just a super nice card. This is factory number 30, so it's a little bit rarer. Sweet Caporal back, 350 subjects. As I was saying, I'm just trying to pick up what I'm picking up. I'm just trying to pick up well-centered, good-looking cards to just diversify the collection a little bit. Next, we have Tommy Leech. Got this one from Greg Morris Cards. This card is very cool. It's got the different colors in the background of the sky and stuff. He's bent over, squinting, waiting for the ball to come screaming at him. Just another really cool card. It's another Sweet Caporal back. This is from Factory 25. The least rare of any of the factories that produced them. But just a nice card. Well-centered, good color. Just love it. Next, one of my favorites. I had to pick this card up just because of this guy's name. Not only, I mean, it's well-centered as well. The colors are really nice and bright. You can see his face clearly. The registration is nice. But this is Jiggs Donahue. Jiggs Donahue from Chicago American League team. This is actually, these cards are error cards. They misspelled his last name. It's not Donahue, it's with an A instead of an O, but they're all the same way. So this is a Piedmont back, the 350 subjects. Just love this card. Just, the colors are just so nice and bright, really well centered. Can't wait to get it graded and see what it gets. Next one we're going to throw out here, this is Gabby Street. This is the greenback portrait. Love this card as well. It's a little tiny bit off left to right, but man, the registration is just absolutely beautiful. It's got a little, a little tiny crease down here in, see if I can get the camera to adjust. Yeah, down here in the bottom right corner. It's got a little crease. There's a little mark here. You know, these cards are over 100 years old, 110, 115 years old. So it's, you know, they're not going to be perfect, but these are just beautiful examples of these cards. This is another one from the Factory 30, so it's just a little bit rarer. Last one of the raw cards we're going to go to here is Charley Carr from the Indianapolis Ball Club. And you can see on this one, it's got a pretty significant ding on the side here. It's got a little crease up here by his forehead. Corners are definitely rounded off, but look at the color on that card. Look at how, you know, bright the registration is. Just a beautiful card. Another one I just had to pick up because it just looked so nice. This is another Factory 30, Sweet Caporal back. So I can't wait to send those off to SGC and see what they come back as. Very excited about that. All right, next we're going to move into the graded stuff here. So we're going to start with the SGC stuff that I picked up, and then we'll go into the PSA stuff. So here we go. 1910 Piedmont. This is Barger portrait, the red portrait. Really nice 2.5. Really well centered, great color. It's got a little mark on his cheek there. But other than that, this card is just absolutely beautiful. Piedmont 350. Really nice card. It's a little rough up here on this corner as well. But once again, folks, I mean, you know, these cards are 110 plus years old. You can't expect a whole lot, especially out of a 2.5 or a 3, even a 3.5. But these cards are just so beautiful. That's why I had to get them. Next one, you guys will know this guy. That's the sweet Caporal back. This is the Miller Huggins portrait. SGC 3. Really rounded corners, but super well centered. Really, really clear picture. Just love it. Had to go after this one. This one was a little more expensive, of course. Miller Huggins is a little bit more well-known. Hall of Famer, great coach for a lot of years. But just a great card. Just great. Next, we have some of these guys I had to pick up just because of their names, not only because they were so well centered in great color. Bill Malarkey. Don't you give me any of that Malarkey. 1910 Piedmont. This is SGC 3. It's got this little chip right here down by his chin. Another one. Really well centered. Great color. Just love it. Piedmont back. Keep moving on here. I don't want this video to get into an hour long, but I just love showing off these cards. They are just so cool. I've been coming home as I've been collecting them. I've been coming home every night from work and just grabbing them and sitting on the couch and looking at them because they're just so cool. Here's the Clyde Milan. SGC 2. Another one. It's off a little bit left to right. Just absolutely unbelievable registration for a card that's 100 plus years old. A little crease down here. Super nice card. Piedmont 350 on the back. Next we have another one of my favorites. This is 1911. Sweet Caporal back. Red Murray. This is the portrait. As soon as I saw this card when the guy listed it, I was just like, wow, that is just such a cool card. Just so clear. The registration is just, I mean, I want to get it closer because I really want you to get a good look. I mean, it is just, and there's a little tiny wrinkle up here and another one right up here. But this card, look at how beautiful that card is. I just love it. I'm so glad that I picked this one up along with all the rest of them, quite honestly. Just such a nice card. Sweet Caporal back, 350 to 460 subjects. And that's factory 30 as well. So a little bit rare coming from that factory. Next we have Rudy Hulswitt. And I have no idea who Rudy Hulswitt is. I looked this card up and did a little bit of research on it and stuff. Didn't find out a whole lot about it. Just another one with fantastic registration. It's a little high. It's a little left. But it's just so clear. And it's so just bright and beautiful. Just love it. So I had to go after it. I couldn't help myself. Another 350 Piedmont back. Last of the SGC cards. This is the Harry Krause portrait. I believe Harry Krause is a Hall of Famer. I can't remember for sure. I think he is. This is the blue back portrait. I believe there's also a pink back portrait or a red back portrait. I can't remember which it is. There's another portrait of him as well. Same picture, different color in the background, and a couple of action shots as well. But this is an SGC 4. And I mean, it was so cheap, it was just unbelievable to me. So another one that I just had to go after. 350 Piedmont back. Just love it. Just a beautiful card. Just beautiful. All right. We're getting down towards the end of it here, folks. We're going to get into the PSA graded stuff now. So I picked up quite a few of these as well. This is the Sweet Caporal back Jack Hayden. This is a 2. But super well centered. Great color. Great registration. There's a little bit of a scratch or something up here by his eye. But other than that, there's a little bit of paper loss down here. Otherwise, this card is probably a 3 or 2.5, 3, maybe 3.5. I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't graded any of these, so I don't know exactly. It's got a little stain on the back here, but just a really nice card. Next, we're going to go into, this is Kaiser Wilhelm. This is the hands at the chest. There's a couple of different portraits. There's another action shot where he's holding a bat as well. This is an old grade PSA 4. This card is just smoking. It's really, really nice. It's got a little tiny bit of a stain right there on the card in the middle. And the corners are a little rounded, but I mean, you know, up at the top, this one down here is a pretty sharp corner. This is a pretty sharp corner down here for a card that's 110 plus years old. Just love it. Sweet Caporal back, 150. Just a nice card. Had to go after it. Next, we've got Piedmont 350 back. This is Steamer Flanagan. Had to go after this one just because of his name. And I thought when I was going after it, I thought, man, a 1.5, that card looks so much nicer than a 1.5. Well, it is a lot nicer than a 1.5 unless I come up a little bit closer. And then you can see it's got a couple of little wrinkly creases that go, you know, a third to half the way of the card and stuff like that. But really well centered, great registration, and how can you go wrong with a guy named Steamer? Piedmont back, 350 subjects. Next we have Piedmont 150 subjects. This is the Art Devlin. Portrait, red back, really well centered. It's a little bit low, but really well centered. Great color, great registration. I mean, his cheeks are almost the same color as the background in the picture. And just a really nice card. Had to go after this one as well. Next we have Piedmont 350, Clyde Engle. I think Clyde Engle is a Hall of Famer, but I can't remember for sure on that one. I'd have to do a little more research to remind myself on that one. But PSA 3.5, well centered, a little off left to right, well centered top to bottom, great registration, really green, bright colors on his cheeks, the blonde hair. I mean, it's just, I couldn't say no to every single one of these cards. I just could not say no because of, you know, how beautiful they are. It's like a piece of Art Deco history. They're just fantastic. And to add them to the collection just makes me all giggly. All right, next we have Seymour here. This is the batting pose. And this is a 4.5. It's low and it's off to the left. But this card is really, really nice. Quite honestly, a couple of the other ones that are more like 3s and 3.5s are better centered, have better corners. Not quite sure why this one got a 4.5 other than the fact that the back is really nice. I mean, the back's off a little bit too, but it's fairly bright. Little tiny bit of staining here in a couple different places and stuff. But Seymour, 4.5. And we're down to the end of it, folks. Last card here. Sweet Caporal. This is the 350 subjects, and this is from Factory 30. This is Topsy Hartsel. Another guy I had to go after just because how can you go wrong with Topsy? As PSA 4.5. It's a little off left to right. It's a little high. Nice corners, but registration is just so bright. And so well defined. Just a great card. Sweet Caporal back there. Factory number 30. Alright, so that does it, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to my 3-part series. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Keep tuning in. I'll have more videos coming soon. Just worked a card show here today in town in Phoenix, and there's going to be a big one a month from now here in Phoenix that I'll probably do, that George from Diamond Yard Sports Cards, my best friend, and I will probably do a video or two from the show while we're working the show. It's a 3-day show here in Phoenix. So take care of yourselves. Thank you for all the new subscribers and the likes and the checking out my videos. Keep collecting, folks, and keep collecting what you love.